Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
The holidays are coming, and so are your relatives. Room to Room is here to help you get ready for company. Enjoy 50% off on the furniture you need, dining, sleepers, mattresses, and more. Plus 24-month special financing. Company's coming. Get ready at Room to Room Tupelo.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Pretty gloomy day across North Mississippi as we've gotten our work week started. Welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynard. Joined alongside me is Chief Meteorologist Matt Lobhon, back from the land down under. Matt, welcome here to the Magnolia State. We have missed you greatly.
I have missed it here as well. It's nice, I guess, to be sleeping in my own bed for a change here. Nice transition there back to reality. And it maybe is very good sleeping weather out there. Have you ever noticed sometimes it's just hard to get going? I'm blaming it on jet lag, but the cloudy, gloomy sort of weather that we have certainly is not making things any easier here in the Room to Room Weather Center. And over the course of the next couple of days, as we transition another front in, that'll have some impacts on those temperatures as well. So if you're looking for conditions to get a little cooler, we've got that for you. Mostly dry conditions, though, continue tonight, despite the fact that we do have that cloud cover out there. And as we progress into this evening and the next couple of days, we're looking towards some slightly better chances by Wednesday, but our chances are not terribly impressive. We'll look at that in more detail here in a couple of minutes. Long sleeves, though, we're expecting those necessity for trick or treat. We'll be honest, Friday morning, the Halloween morning could actually start in the 30s for quite a few spots. So it is going to be kind of a chilly transition there later this week, which is when we look at our chances tonight, yeah, there's a limited chance maybe for a little bit of moisture out there. Most of us probably are still going to be fairly dry. We're 58 at 9 p.m., 56 by midnight, and dropping into the mid to lower 50s by early tomorrow morning, which is a lot warmer than will be later this week as we have a front moving toward the area. A front that doesn't have a ton of cold air with it, but it's cool enough. This is a look at Melissa. Melissa is a Category 5 hurricane. Now, we're looking at the visible satellite perspective on this. Doesn't look like this is looping here, so give me a moment. I'm going to force it to loop here just for a second. And as we kind of set that up for a loop, it's definitely showing some intensity with it. I'm going to bring this back over to analysis mode, see if we can kind of get a better shot of it over on here. So give me just a moment as we pull that up here, looking at our visible satellite perspective. This one is pretty rough looking there. So this will be Meso 2 visible. Give me just a moment to pop that up here. As we're kind of running out of the light at the end of the day, it has been extremely impressive and remains a very strong hurricane. 175 mile per hour winds on this one. Sustained winds. And that's the kind of benchmark we look at, not just how fast the wind gusts, which obviously very impactful, but when you have sustained winds, 175 miles per hour, that is extremely strong. There are some lightning strikes there closer to the middle of this. But yeah, this is and this is a 1 hour loop here. And you can just see how quickly, this is 1 minute data, how quickly that's rotating around there. So a very, very strong and potentially likely devastating and potentially deadly tropical system there. Looking at the water vapors perspective, you can even see the drier air right there in this very, very tight eye. Now, the expectation maybe typically would be this is going to head back toward the north and west and start to become an impact for locations closer to us. But that's not where this is going. And Gabe will talk a lot more about this coming up here in a few minutes. Melissa is expected to actually turn north here and kind of head northward on a track that will eventually take it along the, and just off of the east coast of the United States. Let me clear that off there. So again, likely to stay out in the ocean. No major impact to Florida or the Carolinas outside of beach erosion, some big waves associated with that. But the rainfall could be very devastating for locations down there close to Jamaica and into Cuba. Some estimations in excess of 30 inches of rainfall possible for some of those locations. So mudslides, prolonged power outages, all kinds of major infrastructure problems possible because of this for Jamaica, for Haiti, for Cuba, for the Dominican Republic, and the Bahamas. So a lot of issues for some locations that direction. As far as the lower 48 of the U.S. is concerned, this one, which is a very major hurricane, will not have as big an impact for us, thankfully. But this will be a killer, unfortunately, because of just how strong it is. Outside in Amory, though, we have that mix of cloud cover. We do not have much in the way of precipitation falling. No drops, at least on our camera there. And can appreciate the good folks there at North Mississippi Storm Chasers as we partner with them on these cameras. 59 current temperature, feels like 59 degrees on those light winds at this moment. Fulton coming in around 57 again, cloudy. I'm checking the road surfaces there, a little damp it looks like there along 25 as folks are going back on the eastbound lanes there along I-22. And we're looking at about 66, a little bit warmer, and again, mainly cloudy without really any meaningful precipitation showing up on the camera there in Winona at this time. Latest live scan on Mississippi Live Weather Radar shows no precipitation of meaningful amounts out there, despite the fact we've kind of had those off and on the last couple of days. On the wider shot, we show the showers kind of moving, generally speaking, away from us out there with our most recent system out for Knoxville, for Columbia, South Carolina, and that kind of moving away from us. That's, by the way, one of the things that works with Melissa on kind of the wider shot here to pull Melissa away from us is just how this system kind of works. That's associated with kind of a trough of low pressure. That'll help pull that system northward out there in the Atlantic. If we didn't have that, we would be talking about Melissa in much harsher terms for locations closer to us. But fortunately for us, not fortunately for other locations, that is not the way this one works out. Okay, next storm system we have back to the north and west does show a cold front here. I do hate the fact that when I show Futurecast, it's going to show that cold front kind of changing over to a trough of low pressure. You'll see it transition there here in a second. Part of the reason for that is looking at it saying, well, there's not that cold. Well, it's cold enough. We could still probably call it a cold front as that moves toward us. And it'll have a dip in temperatures, and it'll have drier air to get those low temperatures in particular down a bit cooler. Ahead of that, you can see where that limited chance for some rainfall is this evening. We do still show some greens with that. Gabe and I will be looking at more detail here in a minute, but not much in the way of meaningful moisture there as we're still awaiting this storm system getting a little closer to us. So rain back to the east, rain back to the west. And then we're kind of in this zone of sort of drizzle and a lot of cloud cover. That continues into this evening and into the first part of tomorrow morning. But you start to see some showers on the north side of this low pressure center back there toward Texas. This moisture rolling in, that's our chance for rainfall, of course, in the next couple of days as that gets a little bit closer to us. So looking at that hour-by-hour forecast for this evening and tonight, you can expect, again, maybe a couple sprinkles, but those chances for rainfall get a lot better as we look toward tomorrow. We're 53 at 6 a.m., 57 by 9 a.m., and look at that rain coverage up around 30% for your noontime, 40% by around 3 p.m. And so when you're picking the kids up from school tomorrow, there will be some showers, even a few thunderstorms potentially around with this, though this is not a severe weather setup, thankfully. Now, what are we looking at for rainfall amounts and that, as far as that's concerned? That's one of the things we're looking at with our meteorologist, Gabe Maynor, here in a couple of minutes as we break down your forecast in the next 60 seconds. And of course, the very latest on Melissa, major hurricane, one of the strong, certainly probably going to be the strongest that we have in the Atlantic this year, and maybe a multi-year strong storm. That's just how intense this one is. Coming up here in 60 seconds from the Room to Room Weather Center as Mississippi Live Weather continues right after this.
Hey, you there! Ever try to do something in under 6 minutes? Anything, like, say, grow a beard. I bet you can't. At Sweet Pepper's Deli, you get quality food in under 6 minutes. Now, how about that? Sweet Pepper's Deli. Life is sweet.
Go, honey!
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
You may see a teen struggling to find his way. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we see a teen gaining the confidence and skills to land his first job. Kids today need people to see their potential and help them achieve it. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we do whatever it takes to help kids succeed. Because when we see young people, we see limitless possibilities. Do you? Join us, Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Welcome back into Mississippi Live Weather at 5. As we've been tracking, all weekend long, we continue to assess a damaging storm, and that is Category 5 Hurricane Melissa out there in the Gulf right now, moving into parts of Jamaica and Cuba here in the next few moments. But currently, 175 miles an hour, getting the latest 4 o'clock advisory. You can see 175 miles an hour. That pressure center, 906 millibars. I was tracking this with you guys on Saturday, and that was up around 980, 990 at Category 1 hurricane. This is a rapidly intensifying storm because of the environment that it's in, just a primed environment with a lot of moisture, as well as a very little shear. And so that's going to allow this storm to continue to build. But heading into that extended forecast, just pay attention to how this is going to be impactful. We're talking Category 4 making landfall in the Jamaica area, but already getting a few of those stronger wind gusts up around 175, honestly even higher than that with some of those gusts. That's 175 sustained winds right there. So once we get more into Cuba, Category 3, but still, 125 miles an hour with gusts up around 140, 150, a realistic possibility. And this is just going to be a devastating storm as it continues to work its way through the Gulf and then on into the Atlantic. You can see extending right there into the western Atlantic. Luckily not here in the lower 48, but still at Category 1 strength. It's going to be an impactful storm, but impactful where there's not people living. And that's what we want. The unfortunate part about it is that path taking us right through Cuba and right through Jamaica. Just say your prayers already. I see some folks in chat sending those prayers down for those folks. Yeah, go ahead and do so. I believe airports are closed right now, so the ability to escape very limited. And so folks are getting to those higher buildings, trying to get away from those flood-prone areas and just trying to not be in the path of these winds, because this is going to be very impactful and what we believe to be very historic moving forward. So say your prayers. Prayers do work, and we're hoping that everyone stays okay down there in the Cuba and Jamaica area. Bringing it back here to home, we can see Caledonia 60 degrees right there with dew points currently at 57. Now, dew points are always going to be higher when we see this blanket of cloud cover, but fortunately, also unfortunately, we still need rainfall, but for any of those outdoor activities, this is a very fortunate forecast because it's not overbearing with sunlight, not an extremely hot forecast, and honestly, that cloud cover is a blessing in disguise. 63 degrees in Batesville, still getting some of those darker clouds there in the distance, but no expected rainfall is in the forecast for tonight. Very sporadic light development at most, but into tomorrow, things do start to shift. Greenville, darker clouds there in the distance. This is looking west at where there is a little bit more activity. This is 63 degrees and dew point currently 57 as well. So a saturated environment, a cloudy environment, but not a rainy environment. As we take a look at Mississippi Live Weather Radar, not tracking any rainfall in the area as of this point, but if we cycle this back even a couple of hours, you can see that there were a few showers trying to work their way through earlier on. Looking at some of those rainfall totals, this shows you some of those amounts. And as you can see over there towards Fulton, about a half of an inch. And same thing just southwest of Tupelo, close to the Verona area, about a half inch of rainfall. This was that primary batch that moved through this morning. Barely missed the Maynard household, unfortunately, but there were a few folks that got to wake up to those sprinkles and definitely enjoyed it because they don't have to water their plants this afternoon. But with the rain we got yesterday, honestly, we shouldn't be watering at all. Looking at those rainfall totals on the broad scale all across the southeast, you can see where the heart of that storm is went right on through, and that is close to the Charlotte area in North Carolina, but higher amounts out in the Atlantic. This is just a very active system with lots of rainfall, but fortunately no severe weather. And honestly, that's been the best case scenario for us here in North Mississippi. So keeping that Futurecast going, you can see already overestimating the amount of moisture that we're seeing here in the region. Futurecast having those light showers in the forecast, not exactly verifying with what our radar imagery is reading right now. So honestly, 10% might be too high when it comes to rain chances for the next couple of hours, but those light showers do try to linger in the forecast there by 7, 8, and 9 o'clock before really dissipating out overnight, leaving us with those much drier conditions. Still cloudy, but drier. So let's go ahead and get into our Tuesday morning, and as you may see right behind me, it's just going to be those clear skies, dry skies once again. So heading out the door, not going to need that rain gear just yet, but I would go ahead and grab it because by the afternoon, things do start to shift. Low temperatures across the region, 53 in Houston, 52 Holly Springs, and 56 in Clarksdale. We often talk about cloud cover acting as a blanket in the sky. And you know what blankets do? They trap that heat to keep you warm and act as a blanket for you. So our clouds are doing the exact same thing, and that's why our temperatures don't cool off nearly as much, blanketing that heat and not letting it escape. And so that's why we're going to be much more mild than what we typically should be for this time of year. So drop off 53 degrees, lunch 62, already seeing those rain chances return about 20%. And that last bell, this is why we say bring that rain gear early because you'll need it later on. Call it an investment of some sorts. Last spell 65 degrees with 40% chance of rainfall. That is going to start west but shift its way east, and we'll see that right here on Futurecast. So getting a look at that system, you can see those isolated showers still developing over there towards Tunica County. That is going to be 7:30 on your Tuesday morning. But there's that larger batch that's out there towards Little Rock, and this is going to be associated with that low and that warm front that's really going to drive our forecast moving forward. So as you can see right here, 9 a.m., those showers primarily sticking towards Little Rock, towards Oklahoma City. We extend that forecast, the low starts to shift east, and so do those rain chances. So let's zoom it in right here and break down the hour by hour of when we expect these showers to move in. So this is about 10 to 11 o'clock, already starting to trickle across the Mississippi River by noontime. Folks west of 55 definitely getting a decent downpour, moderate to heavy showers expected, but no chance of severe weather. And that's the other fortunate thing. Again, another significant system when it comes to rainfall that's not bringing us strong storms as a result. So into that 1-2 o'clock hour, they'll start to shift a little bit east of 55, and that's where we'll get a little bit more development towards Water Valley, Grenada, and around the Bruce area. 2-3 o'clock, those light to moderate showers make it all the way into Lee County and Monroe County. So have that rain gear, because as we're driving home from school, we'll definitely not want to be surprised. And for folks that are out west, I mean, honestly, you'll be getting rainfall as early as 10, 11 o'clock. So you'll already be using it in full force as of this point. We keep that forecast going 4, 5 o'clock, and you can see the rain chances just gradually move through the region. And that's why we're talking, I put 50%. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a 60. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if this is up to 70% by tomorrow morning if Futurecast continues to verify its rain chances. So 6 p.m., any of those outdoor activities that we have for our Tuesday afternoon or evening, might want to make some accommodations for them. On Sunday, whenever it was a good downpour here in North Mississippi or here in the Tupelo area, my church moved trunk or treat inside. We were able to stay dry, enjoy a great time, but that was that plan B that they put in place. And I recommend you doing the same. If you do have any sports that are going on Tuesday, might need to have that plan B to reschedule those games, or if you can play. Matt, Leo plays soccer. Is soccer season still going on? If you're still here with me, I'm curious about that. Let's get this forecast going, and yeah, okay, here he is. Is soccer going on still?
Season, first round soccer season is over for them. Second round soccer season starts back in the spring. So no, we avoided the rainfall. We avoided the cold this time around.
Sweet. Okay, that's good news. Do you know of any other sports that are going on right now?
Oh gosh,
football, of course, but that's not on Tuesday.
Obviously, football at all different levels. Yeah, it's a good question. I'm cross country, I know, is going, but they're used to running in all kinds of weather there. They actually, cross country runners prefer to be a little cooler.
But what about rain? I'm sure they don't want that.
I mean, who doesn't like jumping around in some puddles? As long as you don't slip and slide too much in them.
I'm sure I'd probably tear my ACL running in some puddles, though, so I can't say that I would enjoy it.
Tear your ACL looking at some puddles.
I pulled a hamstring at Friday night's game again. I don't know. I'm going to start stretching in pregame. I'm going to go out with the players this week and go in their warm-up lines. There you go.
We're just going to call you Captain Cope.
Oh, man. I'm getting old, Matt. What can I say?
It happens to all of us.
Yeah. Didn't think it would be at 20. '70s in the forecast, but more than likely you're going to be in the upper 60s. And honestly, I would say 70 is an overestimate, because that cloudy conditions as well as that rainy weather really going to act as a blanket in the opposite way, blocking that heat from reaching it here at the surface and replenishing that heat here on the ground. So let's go ahead and zoom things out once again, because as you can see, this low, very mature right over the top of us, continuing to develop that warm front, that warm sector just a little bit towards Yazoo City and Canton. But I mean, overall, we're getting these showers all across from Corinth to Oxford to Grenada there by that 7, 8 o'clock hour. Zoom it back in here to our North Mississippi home view, and go ahead and assess this into the overnight threat. We're seeing 9, 10 o'clock. These bands just continue to develop. Now, a low has that counterclockwise motion, so it's no surprise that we're getting this wrapping around in that counterclockwise way, but we do have these bands working through. So I said it on Friday or Saturday, I believe, where if you're upset you're not getting rainfall, wait about an hour and then that next band will work its way through, and that's your next chance to get some rainfall. And so that's what we're dealing with right now. This band moves through, and then we have that little dry sector, and then that next band moves through. That's what it's going to be heading overnight and into the rest of our Tuesday night and the start of our Wednesday. Now, beyond that, Wednesday morning, we are tracking what we would call wraparound moisture with this low, trying to literally wrap around some of those showers here to North Mississippi. So we talk about that counterclockwise motion working around some of those heavier showers there towards Springfield, eastern side of Missouri. I don't know if it reaches all the way into St. Louis, but they're around Little Rock, and yes, some of them getting into northwest Mississippi. That continues to wrap around, and there you get some decent chances there by Wednesday. So honestly, might need to up those rain chances for Wednesday as well. Might have underdone that just a little bit, but Futurecast definitely verifying some moderate showers moving through North Mississippi. So any of those outdoor plans for Wednesday need to be monitored as well, as you could have some of those soggy conditions even by that late afternoon, early evening time frame. So yes, more isolated once that main batch clears out, but paying attention to that forecast there for your Wednesday night of just how much rainfall we'll see. Beyond this, though, much drier weather. If we expand this out one more time, you can see the shift in the weather pattern. So we have that low clearing out towards the east and high pressure moving in already with those northerly winds moving into Arkansas and then North Mississippi later on into the night, and all of those clear skies associated with it moving in right on time. Yes, I know this weekend was not exactly great timing, but right on time for that Halloween forecast once we get into our Friday. So we'll get to that in just one moment. High temperatures for Wednesday, you can see already taking a step back with that moisture still lingering in the air, but also that shift in the weather pattern as those northern winds push into the region. 56 in Bruce, Tupelo, 54 Iuka, and 57 there towards Belzona. Much better than we're talking about whenever we're talking about upper 60s, low 70s like our Tuesday. Forecasted rainfall, though, this honestly underdoing. This is a general overview. Our Weather Prediction Center issuing this to show you that it's going to be a soggy forecast for the next couple of days, but some areas could be upwards of 2 to 3 inches. We'll have a look at that full breakdown with one of our other model runs coming up later on this evening, so stay tuned for that. But this telling you it's going to be a soggy forecast heading into our Tuesday and Wednesday. So trick-or-treat forecast. Are you looking to get out this Friday night? Well, I know the little ones are, and that forecast for your Friday, a look ahead, as we see right here, 61 degrees by 5, 52 by 7, and 51 by 9. Already a little bit of a cooler end to our trick-or-treating, so might need the long sleeves on standby because some areas, I know it says 51, could be in the upper 40s by this point. So, it's going to be chilly. But even football games need the long sleeves as well. Had a jacket last week, and that was already a little bit warmer, so things are definitely starting to shift. If you're heading to the Sweet Potato Festival on Saturday, you can see that time frame right there, 49 by 7 a.m., so a cool start to the day. I'm still going to say chilly somewhat. 60 degrees by noon, 65 by the afternoon, and 54 by 7. So if you're looking to head out there at any point, going to be a great time. I think it was 52 years of the Sweet Potato Festival. So definitely be a part of history. It's a good time over there in Vardaman. We were there last week, and that was all the talk of the town. So definitely the place to be as we get into Saturday. Tuesday, 50% chance of rainfall, primarily going to be afternoon and evening hours. Wednesday, 30% as that moisture continues to wrap around. Could be up to 40%, and this honestly could be up to 60%. But either way, you kind of get the idea. We're dealing with widespread showers Tuesday, scattered showers by Wednesday. Beyond that, though, drier air moves in place Thursday, Friday, staying with those mostly sunny conditions. But low temperatures 44 Thursday morning. Oh my word, 38 for the start of our Friday. Long sleeves need to be paired with the sweatshirt now. That's the transition that we're getting into. And then Saturday, temperatures build back ever so slightly, back into the mid to upper 60s, but definitely not going to be like what we're in right now, where we're getting some 70s tomorrow. We're getting a little bit of a break from that, and especially not low temperatures in the 50s. I mean, we're definitely getting a break from that. My wife, she asked me the other day, she's like, Gabe, do you think we're done with the 80s? And I will say, and Matt, feel free to chime in right here. I would say that the 80s pattern, for the most part, we're moved on from, but we could have an anomaly here or there. But I would say that overall, the 80s seem to be a thing of the past as that pattern does shift, moving more into that late fall. No, we're mid-fall right now, but mid to late fall right now.
I'll give you 90s are gone. How about that?
There we go. We'll take that. But like 80s in the general sense, like on average, we're done with the 80s. We're not expecting
on average. Like
long
we'll have a spike here and a spike there. I mean, it's weird stuff happens from time to time in November, but I mean, you know, we've definitely turned the corner there. That was something that maybe you don't notice sticking around here, but when you go to the tropics for basically 2 weeks, like we went, and then come back, we looked out the window and we're like, man, the leaves are all changing. It's kind of chilly here. I mean, you can feel that it's less humid. So yeah, we're walking our way toward more of that early wintertime, late fall pattern, regardless of whether it necessarily feels like it, just whether you've been here the whole time or not. I can tell you after leaving and come back, big difference.
Makes you appreciate what Mississippi's giving you a little bit more. Curious also for you to chime in, because I don't have a little one this year. Next year, whole different story. But I know that you have Penny and Leo. They're going trick-or-treating Friday. Yep. Are they going to bring some extra layers, or what's the move on that?
Oh man, It depends on what they go as.
That's
Dare
true.
I say, I have no clue at this moment. I need to figure that out. Well, I also got to think about this, like how they go trick or treating. Typically, they'd come with us, but we're doing Friday night football stuff. I need to figure that out. They might end up Saturday trunk or treating, like some folks. Are there still trunk or treats going on Saturday?
It's
Man,
November,
you've
so
now
that's
produced a problem that I have to solve.
no. I'm so sorry. Welcome back to
It's okay.
Mississippi.
Yeah. So I mean, let's say this. In the past, when we've been in this situation, we usually try to add a layer underneath if you can, because everyone likes to show off the costume on top. But yeah, it's going to be a little chilly there. I mean, if it's 64 for the high, we're practically the time change time here. I mean, it's going to be like mid 50s, kind of best case scenario while it's dark there. So I mean, that's going to be kind of chilly.
That's enough for me. I would definitely have long sleeves on standby, or dress as a. I've just lost track of all warm dressed people.
A ghost, because a ghost you could put as many layers underneath as you want to.
You're right. That's a good one. That is a good one. Yeah. Whatever you want to go as, just have an extra layer. But maybe our football game Friday night will do a Halloween feature if they want to come with us to the game.
I might be able to convince one of them to go. We'll see. It depends on how far away we are. I can't wait for folks to do that. Do you have that? Do you happen to have that pulled up on the browser over there?
I can get it pulled up if you want to give me like 2 seconds. I can get it pulled up.
Yeah. Go ahead and head over there for a second and do that. While Gabe's doing that, again, appreciate everybody who's been nominating these different games of the week that we've been looking at here. Excited to see where this week ends up going. I apologize that I've been out of town, out of the country the last couple of weeks, but I know that I've seen Gabe's selfie posts, and I've seen all you guys, everything you're posting on Facebook and Instagram and all those. Certainly a lot of excitement, and we're getting here a little closer to playoff time. Certainly these games mean more and more each week, so excited for that. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can switch it over there and check out Gabe as he's looking at the game of the week posts that we have. Again, he mentioned earlier, a lot of folks, aiming for Saltillo there. Gabe, what do we have on that?
Well, I saw some showing up right now, and we missed out on East Webster last week, so maybe this week you guys prevail, but got to get the votes in. Saltillo Center Hill, that was a big one.
Over again. The audio cut out again. I've kind of noticed that this audio cutout thing, I think, has to do with the way I have the switches triggered. I think there's an audio thing that's kicking in. We'll have to see. But so it's not just, it wasn't just my Australia videos.
Well, what I was saying was that East Webster Eupora was now a hot one that's showing up here in the comments now. But I mean, we put East Webster there last week. You guys had your chance. You might have another chance this week, but you need to get the votes. That's essential. Go call your friends, call your neighbors, call your family. We have people that's out of state vote for these. So you got to try as hard as you can to get as many votes as you can to hopefully come out on top. We also have Saltillo Center Hill. That was a big one like we were mentioning earlier. So folks in Saltillo, I know that you guys have been on the votes once, maybe twice. So maybe you guys get it this week. Let me see. Let me keep scrolling. Those are the main two. Hamilton, Hatley showing up as well. Water Valley, East Union. So that's going to be a good one. I mean, my family's kind of some urchins as well, as my wife did graduate from there. So
Morville versus Shannon there, I see.
Morville, Shannon, yeah. And Morville or Shannon, I think they both came out off a loss last week, and they're kind of wanting to get that momentum heading into the playoffs. So it's going to be exciting when that whole division with Shannon, Itawamba, Morville, and Houston, I think, that's a good one. And definitely a battle. We went to Itawamba a couple weeks ago and got to see them take on Houston. And both teams look legit. Itawamba's dominant, though, and that's going to be a tough team to beat.
Itawamba's good every year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Baldwin, Walnut, Ripley, Senatobia. Smithville, TCPS. I saw this one as well. Smithville, TCPS was a one that was used a lot as well. Have not been to TCPS, but I have a few friends that go to church with us that they were talking about the game last week. And one of my friends, shout out Tripp, he scored a touchdown last week. So watch out, running back of the year.
Go ahead and put that on the list. We need to write that one down.
Smithville, TCPS.
Yeah. That's I think we're getting late enough in the season here. We've done West Point. We have not done New Hope. I see behind you there. So Eupora, I would say Eupora, East Webster so far. Saltillo, Center Hill. We've already done Hatley. I'm not necessarily completely opposed. I know we're probably going to end up doing some repeats here toward the end. but we haven't done Morville or Shannon yet, have we?
I don't think we have.
No, we haven't done Morville or Shannon. So
I want to say with West Point and New Hope, that is going to be a good game. I think New Hope has 2 losses. West Point is undefeated, so that could be a shootout.
That could be.
A New Albany Corinth. The primary ones are East Webster and why did I forget the team?
Eupora.
East Webster, Eupora, Morville, Shannon showing up a couple of times, and Saltillo and Center Hill. I'd say are the 3 that are most notable right now.
Hamilton and Hatley.
Hamilton, Hatley, yes.
I mean, there's a lot of folks there. And then
TCPS.
TCPS and Smithville. Let's write that one down. And it looks like those might end up being our 4. But of course, put them in there, and continue to comment on that. A lot of Hatley, Hamilton folks there.
They want us there.
I think maybe next week. So this is division championships this week, and then we go to the playoffs. And so I think starting with playoffs next week, we might go ahead and start doing a few that we've already done before there once we're in the playoffs. I know we've been trying to put that off a little bit to give as many folks as possible an opportunity to kind of show up in here, because I know there's some that we have some dedicated fans that would have us at that South Pontotoc game every week. So that chance coming up again.
Well, and that'll be a good battle for sure. These are always good games that we get to go to. And honestly, if the game's not good, then the environment's good as well. So getting to be in Vardaman last week, I know I talked to a lot of fans. It wasn't exactly the outcome Vardaman was wanting, but it was always good vibes, senior night, and that's always on a high note, whether win or lose. You want to win, but it still feels good getting to be recognized that night.
Absolutely. Okay, Gabe.
Yeah, we'll make the list, and I think we're good to wrap it and maybe have an update at 6, but especially at 10 o'clock.
Okay, there you go.
Well, this basically wraps it up for the 5 o'clock show. I know this is about to send it back over to the green screen, so bear with me one moment. There you go. So, yeah, in summary, Friday, whether you're going trick-or-treating or going to a football game, depending on what football game you go to, that's what we're asking right now. But either way, whatever you're doing, it is going to be a calm and clear night, and for the most part, cool. So make sure to have those long sleeves on standby. Go ahead and download that Mississippi Live Weather app, free and available on iOS and Android. And again, we appreciate your guys' support whenever it comes to downloading that app, but also participating in these votes. You guys are the reason we go to these games, so if you want us there, go ahead and put those votes in there, and we'll post that tomorrow, and that's where you can really make your voices heard through voting. I want to reemphasize, you guys got to get the votes if you want us to go to your game. I know several teams have been on the list that haven't won. What makes the difference is making sure that word gets out. So share those posts, get those votes, and hey, talk to everybody. Even share it on what's happening in New York. Hey, let's share the word up there. Just because we're Mississippi Live Weather doesn't mean we can't go nationwide. So got to do what you can. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap it up for the 5 o'clock show. We'll be back here in about a half hour for the 6 o'clock broadcast. Hey, you can always tune in at 10 o'clock. You need to tune in tonight at 10 because latest model runs will be out, and we'll have a latest look at what to expect for your Tuesday rain chances. And meteorologist Maggie McCauley will have a look at that tomorrow morning as those showers are starting to transition across Arkansas. She'll have the latest breakdown for you on Mississippi Live Weather this morning.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
You wonder how they're going to experience the real world in real safety, where all kids are welcome and everyone has a path forward to new skills, advancement, leadership, something they will carry with them the rest of their lives.